Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the MENTAL.KE podcast. Remember to follow us on all our social media platforms, on X, Instagram, and remember to subscribe, comment, and like. Support our content, guys. We do a lot to bring you bomb content. Subscribe, confirm if you have subscribed. Confirm. Yeah, thank you for all the love and support you've shown to our previous episodes. And today I am joined by a very beautiful girl on set. I'll let her introduce herself.
Hello everyone, it's Kanyi Kwembori here, Anne-Marie, and I am an animal scientist by profession, a teacher by calling, a firstborn daughter. I am a mental health enthusiast. I am a Rotaractor, and that's basically me. And I'm very happy and honored to be here in our session today.
We'll be speaking about healthy boundaries.
Yeah.
So how are you, Marie?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Today, I love what you guys are doing here, the mental health, everything. Kudos to Marvin, the team here. You're doing great.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, so today we are speaking about healthy boundaries. So what would you say about healthy boundaries?
First of all, when we talk of boundaries, actually the word boundaries is an acronym which stands for be aware of what is right, normalize saying no. That's the end part. And do what is right for you, and know that it is not your responsibility to sacrifice yourself for others. So boundaries are basically where you...
That's profound.
Thank you. They're basically where you stop and where the other person starts. Yeah,
so I think we're going to dive in right into the types. Guys, we have an audio version episode of Healthy Boundaries that just went up on Spotify, MENTAL.KE podcast. Go there. If you're not like a visual person, go there and support us, watch us, patronize us. Thank you. Yeah, so I don't know. The first one would be what?
We can start on physical boundaries.
Yeah.
When it comes to physical, it's basically what you can allow when it comes to touch, and who you can allow and to do in what way. And let me talk of something which happened recently in social media. Like there was this clip posted on Instagram, NGC, and it was the Senator Karen Nyamo. So there was this content creator who came up to her in KCC. She was there. So this person approaches her, and the content was on proposing. He was proposing to her. So this person gets up to her, pulls her into a hug, and Karen is like, sikujui hivo, mbona umenihug hivo, sikujui hivo. So this person fails to realize that she's not comfortable already doing that, and the person goes on and puts a ring on her finger. And this whole time, the body language of Karen is ish. I don't know why you're doing. But she's on camera and she's trying to tell this person in the nicest way possible, I'm not comfortable doing what you're forcing me to do. And the guy is stronger than her, definitely. Ndio maana pull into the hug, puts the ring on her finger, and continues to, press her hands. He's like, hey now, wani mweupe nini nini, in a very inappropriate way. And people in the comments, they were like, no, that's not right. Karen already is the senator. She's already so uncomfortable in that. And this person is still pushing, really violating her physical boundaries. And I feel like the person should apologize, in case this gets to him in any way. Like he should apologize to her and even us, because the people watching, they were so uncomfortable. And in the comments, they were like, this is not right. Like the way he pulls her into a hug, the way he puts a ring on her finger, the way he starts, you know, pressing her hands, that was so inappropriate. That was one very recent violation when it comes to physical boundaries.
Okay, actually, when I think about physical boundaries, I think people should just approach people knowing I don't have access to them physically.
Exactly.
I don't know what makes people think that, you know, you have access to someone. You actually don't have access to anybody. And as a person, you also don't owe physical access to anyone. And I think such videos that make rounds on social media are the things that make people think, you know, now they have access, they can have access to anyone. Weird enough, when I think about physical boundaries, I always think about thoughts, makanga. I think if there's anyone in this service provision industry that should be taught physical boundaries, ni makanga na wale watu wa, oneni huyo ni size yangu.
Exactly.
Like, guys, nitapanda matatu, sio lazima univurute, si lazima anything, and if I'm not going, I'm not going. Honestly, if someone mjitole mpunze thoughts, because
not only the touts, the people in markets, people in Kabukonji, Gikomba, unafika huko and everyone is like, vahi, ushavalishwa na amesema usitoe yani hapa.
Yeah. So I don't know, I feel people should do that, and even as a person, you should limit your physical access to people. It also looks like giving hugs to random people. I think when especially like, I don't know, just when you meet someone, you want to hug them. I feel you also should set the tone and the standard for, you can't come to me like that. Yeah, there's a lot about physical, and I think people don't clearly know about physical boundaries. Guys, you don't have access to just anybody because you know them or anything. True. And as a person, you don't owe access to nobody.
You're not entitled, basically.
Yeah.
We can...
if there's anything you'd want to add on more about physical boundaries, feel free to comment down below.
Yeah, comments.
Yeah, now to the hot ones. We could talk about relationship boundaries. Ooh, okay. You have stories for this.
Okay, when it comes to relationship boundaries, people feel like they're entitled, you know. Like, mnajuana na this person, they've allowed you in their lives to some extent that anything you do to them, for them, feels right. And people should know that your partner is a totally different human being from you, and they have their own, you know, their own sets of standards. There are things they can take, and to what extent, and some things they can't take. So you need to know what they love, or what they can allow and what they can't. That's what I feel when it comes to physical, when it comes to relationship boundaries. Yeah, atakama, yeah, you're in that relationship, you're free, but still there are some things which your partner can allow, can take, and others which they can't. And we need to discuss some of them hapa. One, which is I'm sure itaguza wengi, the one on privacy.
Yeah, for sure. So there's this weird habit of people going through people's phones, your partner's phones. Personally, I feel like that's the biggest breach of privacy that could ever exist. I believe as you take someone as your partner, you trust them. And the issue haikuangi simu, you're going through your partner's phone because you're suspicious this person is cheating, right? So instead of bringing the phone into an argument, it's not even supposed to be in. Sit your partner down and tell your partner, I don't like when you chat this much. Maybe it's eating into our quality time, right?
Exactly.
Don't talk too much on your phone, right? Maybe work hours, just know work hours and family hours, right? Or who is this that you're talking to? I feel like, you know, I'm insecure. I would appreciate if you reassured me more. I'd have appreciate if, you know, you don't talk to
having the clear conversation.
I'd appreciate if maybe you even introduce me to your friends or your colleagues so that it doesn't feel. Just have the conversation. Don't go through people's phones. Your partner, kila mtu is a grown up. I actually feel like when you're with someone, I actually read somewhere that it's very lame of you to think that your partner will stay no matter the disrespect because they are already yours, which is crazy. I feel like both of you are adults, and in partnership we should look at people as two people that came together, not like now they are my person. Yes, they're your person, but look at them as a different person and the boundaries they came with, what they will tolerate and what they will not tolerate. If there are certain things they can't do, there are certain places maybe you can't touch them, there are certain places they even cannot go. Oh my God, reminds me, there's this video I think I like saw on social media. So I think the girlfriend is like super socially anxious. So the guy takes her out. She's socially anxious and she also doesn't drink, right? So the guy takes her out on like a party where kuna watu wengi. And I think the guy doesn't fully acknowledge that, you know, my girlfriend is socially anxious and it's something she wouldn't appreciate. So the guy keeps walking with her and introducing her to different people. At some point, the guy abandons the girlfriend in the middle of so many people and she looks so anxious. And then the girl doesn't drink. So when the waiter brings maybe wine or anything, she's not drinking. She's just sipping water. And the guy is like, no, what's wrong with you? Drink some liquor. It will help you calm down. And that's so intrusive, guys. That's like being really bad.
That's not it.
Yeah,
like,
just to know that your partner is a different person. You both came here as two different people, and respect each other as people, even from opinions to things you want to do, like even to how I cook or how I put my things. It's okay if you don't agree to it, but you need to respect that we are two different people from two different backgrounds who have been doing our things
with different values.
Who have been doing our thing differently over the years. So now you don't have to make me feel bad. Just teach me. You don't have to criticize me or anything. Yeah.
There's also this other issue on private time.
Yeah, alone time.
When it comes to couples, and especially for the clingy girls, even the clingy girls, you know, the guys, your partner nakwambia, but we've spent so much time together, and I feel like for this one day, let me just go have my own time, my space, you know, reflect on your things, reflect on your life, replan, recharge, re-energize. And I don't know, some people are not okay with it. They're like, you know, how you take it, Pia, and you're like, apana.
It could also be you're dating someone with a weird attachment style. Maybe they have an insecure attachment style, and they feel like maybe when you go, or anxious attachment style, or like maybe when you take time off, they're mad at you, or you've done something, or they no longer want the relationship. But guys, just talk to your person and get your personal time.
Yeah,
and I don't know, I can't emphasize this
enough
because people need, you don't lose yourself because of a relationship. Don't lose who you are, what you like, your values, your hobbies, what you enjoy doing. No, please don't.
Because at the end of the day, you have your own life,
and they have their own
life. And there's this other issue of you know, trying to control your partner's emotions. So one thing, your emotions are valid. I've had stories on an issue arising in a relationship, and the one partner is like, apana, hupasi kufeel hivo, you know, trying not to validate the other person's feeling. I think it's very wrong. You know, people, you have feelings definitely, but someone else trying to make you feel like it was wrong feeling this way, it was wrong acting this way. I think it's quite some breach of emotional boundaries.
I actually feel a problem is it's not even about emotions, it's even about invalidating problems, and it's not even in relationships, it's everywhere. I actually feel like an emotion or a problem is your emotion or your problem, because it presses different people different ways. Inaweza kuwa when I hit your toe, that's not a big deal to me, but it's a big deal to you because of the amount of pain you feel. Someone could feel like financial crisis is a bigger problem than academic pressure. But academic pressure is also Mesema nisiguse academic pressure at this point, you know, because academic pressure is also pressing you differently. So I feel acknowledge people and their emotions.
True.
Don't start saying sasa hiyo ni nini unalidia. People are sensitive in different
and una
ways.
overreact. Don't say that.
If it hurts you, it hurts you.
Exactly. If it hurts you, it's valid and it's okay expressing it, and the other person should not just dismiss it.
Exactly, for sure.
Then there's this other boundary when it comes to, okay, we can go on to work boundaries.
Yeah.
Haya, hapa, it's quite challenging addressing that, you know, but your employee, your boss, your employer, that is, they ndiye mwenye pesa. So you find that sometimes they do things to you and you don't know how to address them. Ndiye mwenye, if you want a promotion, this is the person. So you don't want really rubbing shoulders with this person. And sometimes they kind of take advantage of that. I'm in authority, so there's some things I can do to you. You won't say it, you know. And there's this, okay, I used to work in a farm. And, you know, working in a farm is quite a task. Like, kuna kazi 24/7. So I used to work from Monday to Saturday. Sunday, I used to be free on Sundays. So, and there used to be after work hours, like from 5 you're free. And there was this one manager, when you after work hours, you'll receive calls, you know, unaambia there's something getting delivered in the farm and you need to come get it, and it's after. Even on Sundays, unasikia, this Sunday we have visitors, so you need to show up, do this and this and this. And this is the only time you have, you know, to recharge. You've been busy throughout the week. This is the only time you have to relax, connect with family and friends. And this person still gets you involved in the work. So I got to tell him one day, but then mimi after work hours na on Sundays sipatikani. So akanipea side eye. Side eye to me sijui kama alisikiza or anything. Haya, so that was the first time I told him about it. After some days, jioni, there were some people coming to buy some things in the farm. So he called. I didn't pick. Because already I've stated what I didn't want. I had already stated after this time, sitakuwa available. So he called, I didn't pick. The next day he was like, na jana I called you, I wanted you to do some things in the farm na huku nini. So I was like, sikuwa available jana jioni. Haya, ni kama he didn't get the hint that I'm not okay working after the work hours. Haya, on Sunday, you know, I used to live in the farm, so alikuwa anajua kwenye naishi. On Sunday there were visitors, so he came to my place and started knocking. You know, I feel that at some point, if people don't respect your boundaries, try to force them. You know, try to force. So that Sunday he came to my place knocking, and I didn't open. I just stayed still. Siku open. He wanted me to go now. Si nasema kulikuwa na visitors. Sasa alikuwa anataka I just go show up nini. So I didn't. And the following Monday he was like, but then jana I wanted you. You see, it's something he didn't realize I'm not okay working past this. Ata kama I don't know, you're in authority, I respect you, but sasa when it comes to having the extra tasks, let me rest. Jutena, the tasks in the farm, they are quite demanding. Yeah. So it reached a point where, so mimi I disappeared. Like after work hours, sikuwa napatikana. On Sunday, sipatikani. He'd come, knock, singefungwa at all. So during the week, he was just like, na siku hizi kuna watu hawapatikani nini, you know. So this went on and on. Sadly, finally, he didn't even, you know, it's your free time, you relax. Hakuwaitambua hiyo. So it reached a point and I was like, nani hana kwao? Napendwa kwetu. So I came up with a story, you know, handed in my 2 weeks, nakwanga 2 weeks ama 3 weeks notice. and that's how I just left the place. You know, I want people to know that there's always the option of walking away. Yeah, there's that option of walking away. If it's too much, hujafungiwa hapo, just walk. And it also reminds me of some story of a lady who was saying, she was telling her story of her boss who used to send her chapatis every morning. You can imagine. And I'm sure it wasn't even part of the job description. Like, people are waking up to good morning texts, great quotes, you know, and you're waking up you're waking up to a text from your boss telling you nikujia na chapati sita. You know, like, how far can it go when it comes to the workplaces? And so the lady continues saying that it reached a point, she started telling the boss, sina pesa.
Yeah.
Like, sina pesa. You know, this person can't acknowledge that it's not your job. It's not even part of the description to be bringing chapatis every single. You can imagine unaamka kwenda kujitayarisha, you know, going to work, and you have to pass by some place to get at chapatis for your, you know. That was
I also feel work boundaries could look like, especially for corporate buddies, I feel like work and working in corporate, that's like twice the work. Even with how you relate with your colleagues, with office politics, with like issues of promotion and how you carry yourself. I think there's nothing as firm as creating boundaries. I even remember when I was in high school. I also think your teachers being in the staff room, it calls for like very strict boundaries, because there are even teachers who think now they can say anything about the other teacher, or they can do anything, they can just report do what. I feel like standing your ground, especially in like corporate, you even need to like read up a lot of things about corporate, be very careful about how you like relate with colleagues or how you move up the ladder. It's too much out there in the corporate world.
Yeah, it's quite
a lot. Yeah, so into another one, a very controversial one, child-parent boundaries or parent-child boundaries. What do you have to say about that?
When it comes to child-parents, they somehow come naturally. There's some things, especially African kids, there's some things you can't just, you know, you can't just do or say when your parent is there, when your parent is around. Like, there's that natural respect for our parents. And I don't know, maybe you can just add something.
I feel like people should acknowledge that parents will always remain parents, and there's a level of respect we need to give parents. And even when we need to address certain issues with parents, you should not be disrespectful to your parents. And when it like comes to now the child, there's this book I was reading the other day. It's called Tomorrow I Become a Woman. It's about a main character who is taken to uni, but the parents now believe, no, you're getting too old, you shouldn't be studying, you should now get married. So due to that pressure that the parent keeps mounting on the kid, the lady got into an abusive relationship, and every time she went home, the mother forced her back. The lady wouldn't do anything without the consent of the mother. So I feel like you should know there's where being a parent, being a child to your mother ends, and being you as a person ends. And I don't know, as a firstborn daughter, I don't know, what would you say about a child-parent boundary? Just speak on it as a firstborn daughter. Do you think there's where it ends?
Personally, when it comes to, there's some things my parents wouldn't get involved in, and there's some things I also don't get involved in when it comes to them here. And okay, from my experience, my relationship with my parents, everything flows naturally. I'd say that we don't really like it. It just flows. Like, there's some stuffs my parents will, you know, get involved in, and there's some things they'd be like, are you okay us handling that? Are you okay us, you know, coming in when it comes to that?
Yeah,
that's basically it.
I think parents should draw a boundary. Even if you're a first daughter, you're still a child. There are things you can't handle about your siblings. There are just things you can't handle. You're a child.
Oh, yeah, true.
You're a child. I feel like that relationship should stay there. You are a child and you are my child. Like in your life, so long as,
and
no matter how old you are or whatever, just know, you know, this is the child here and I am the parent here.
And also getting to know what you can handle as a child, because we've seen cases where the parents, they give the elder siblings like so much, more than they can handle, you know. What you
and it
said
also looks like how you communicate to your parents so that it doesn't look like it's disrespectful, and how you find your way around issues with your parent. If your parent is getting mad at you for doing this and that, then it might look like you stop doing that, or you don't do that often, or you don't do things that anger them. You maybe approach them when they are a bit calmer. You just communicate, you just show, you know, this, I can't handle this, or now I'm grown enough to handle A, B, C, D. I feel like the dynamic of how you handle issues with the parent as a kid, and how you, and even parents, how parents handle issues with their kids.
Okay, allow me to rewind on something on work boundaries. I was reading an article where when you set your boundaries in the workplace and people keep on breaching them, there's some things you can do, like approach to solving that. There's an informal method and there's the formal one. So the informal one ni kama yenye nilifanya, you just go to your boss and you're like, I'm not okay with this, I'm not okay with this. If they agree, if they are okay, not, you know, like they choose to do what you're comfortable with, that's good. If they are not, there's the formal way, where you go to the HR for the corporates, whatever. You go to the HR, maybe unamwambia, but I'm being given a lot of tasks at work. Human resource. I believe
it's for the employee.
It's
do you think it works for the employee or the company? No, depending. You could gauge. If you know their health, you go to them. If you just know they are very one-sided and company-oriented, you could find other ways.
Or maybe the person in charge of the, you know, the employee welfare in the organization. You just tell them, but this and this is happening. Nimepewa kazi mingi, natumwa chapatis kila morning. You just talk to this and this person. Umwambie, after all, the work environment should be safe. It should be a place where you grow, you develop your skills. And
so, speaking about family, sibling boundaries, are there boundaries with siblings?
Yeah, they have to be. Personally, as the eldest and firstborn daughter, there's some boundaries I have with my siblings. Like, don't get into my room if without, you know, knocking. Don't get into my private stuff. Don't write on my books. That one. I have notebooks. There's one I have. Hey, jamani. My little brother. Anyway, I love him so much. But sasa when it comes to chora tu vitu everywhere, now that one he knows by now. And things when it comes to siblings, them respecting your boundaries at some point inakuanga very tricky. You've seen unaweza kuwa tu umetulia, you see your sister in your outfits and you're like, hey, tumefikishana wapi? You know, it's tricky. And what do you think about it?
Okay, I could only speak vicariously about sibling boundaries because I'm my mom's only daughter. But I have a few things to say. Don't come for me. So I feel like setting boundaries with your siblings could truly be hard. Even from the sibling relationships that I've experienced, it's hard. But with even smaller kids, it could look like, don't write on my notebook, because if I write, how would you feel, or what happens if I write on maybe your homework, on top of your homework? Your teacher is going to get mad, you're going to get punished. In the same way, I have important things here. I will miss out on work opportunities. Maybe even me, my teacher will get mad, right?
True.
It could, with outfits, it could look like, now how would I feel if I go into your closet and I pick clothes? Alafu, you go into someone's closet, unachukua hoodie ama t-shirt ya boyfriend yake, and then you meet with them out there in their hoodie or t-shirt. That's very awkward, right? So you give certain instances and you tell them, if you want my outfit, just borrow. If I can give it to you, it's okay. If I can't give it to you, then it's okay. Also, as a sibling, do you like feel extra responsible for your siblings?
Sometimes, yes.
And do you think with the sense of responsibility comes like a breach of certain boundaries?
That's where the balance comes in, you know. Like, you know, at the end of the day, we are sisters, we're brothers, and there's some things I'll do as an elder sibling. You know, I don't want to push them away at the end of the day. Like, I don't want to give them the parent vibe. Like, you know, there's a wall between us. I want to be close, you know. Staki kuwa push away at the end of the day. But sasa there are also things that usifanye hii. I
think I don't know, in like being siblings, I think peer viewing someone as an individual apart from like they are my sister or is very important, right? Like looking at someone like, you know, they are these people, they have this personality, or now I'm this age, they're that age, probably they are doing this work, they're in marriage, they are doing this, they are parents now. Like viewing someone as a person who's also going through stages of life could also give you the ability to show more grace to your siblings.
True. And I think with that, you can get to the friendship boundaries.
Yeah.
Okay, this one comes with some entitlement kiasi because people struggle with it.
Yeah.
And one thing I'm grateful for, I have a best friend who really respects my boundaries. Okay, I'm not a sherehe person. I'm not a sherehe person. So, and she is. So
shout out to her best friend.
So she tells me most of the times, you know, tokea, you know, that phrase of tokea. And I'm like, so Najwa, it's not my thing. And she's okay with it. Like, she's
which
okay.
is really nice.
Not that only, but also other things. Like, she's ever okay with that, and I really love that about her. Yeah.
Oh, okay. The one thing I'd actually say, I started to make true friends when I started to put stern boundaries in friendships. Looking at friendships I have experienced and friendships I continue to experience, I have only developed true, meaningful, peaceful, easy friendships when I started putting boundaries. So that doesn't feel like you're straining me mentally, you're straining me emotionally, you're straining me physically. Sometimes I look at you, I'm even resenting you. It looks like, no, me, I cannot allow this. And I know now you can't allow this, so I can't come to you this. It's like the same way you said. Maybe even knowing someone has strict parents and you want them to be outside at 4 and it's like an unnegotiable. No, that's that's weird. It's like knowing me, I can't be here this time. Me, I can't go to sherehe because, you know, I'm not that kind of a person. Even boundaries with like your other friends. Maybe we don't get along with your other friends and it's okay. You should realize they're my friends. They don't have to be your friends, but you have to be respectful. Even with your partners, kuna where you're not supposed to be poking noses in your friends' business. And then it's also like, when you look at friendship, look at it as two people coming together to grow together. Not like you being in a friendship because maybe it's beneficial to you or like the other way around. it's like both of you are coming to grow together. Both of you are different people, and both of you can live your lives, but now still be friends. Because I have the most amazing friendships I made were in high school. Those, I don't know, I think that's like the best thing 844 ever gave me. And even past high school, I think it's because we respected we are two different people who are doing two different things. Now we give each other more grace. We have put boundaries to what I can do, what I can't do, to what we can talk about, to what we can't talk about. And I think that's played a huge role for us to like continue being as good friends as we are, or even as better friends, even past us being constantly together, which is a huge thing. Yeah.
It's
and I think
the best.
In friendships, boundaries are very slippery, because now I feel like it's more like familiarity breeds contempt. Like, nishamzoea, kwani anaweza fanya nini? I can take their things. I can do this with. But no, it's not like, no. I feel like that's even where the question of intentionality comes in. Every single day, be intentional with your friendships. Set your boundaries. And if someone is not respecting your boundaries, Nani, there's no one worth breaking your boundaries for. Whoever they are, they will accept you with your boundaries. And most people who want you to break your boundaries for them don't have boundaries. That's why they are wondering, mbona unasema tusifanye hivi? They themselves don't have boundaries, and you shouldn't be breaking boundaries for nobody. If they can't respect your boundaries, they can't respect you. Na even your disrespect itaanza. Run, don't walk. Run.
If you can't walk, take a flight. If you can't crawl, you know, there are always options. And there's this quote I was reading on the unhealthiest person in the room is the one that will protest the most when I make my boundaries. Something like that. Yeah. So in friendship still, both parties should be having boundaries. Plus, I feel like the most, the best relationships when it comes to either love, parents, work, the best ones, they have boundaries.
For sure.
I feel like boundaries make them even sweet.
Better.
Because you know that this is where I reach, this is where the other person begins, and that's on the point of
communication.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like a safe space, in short.
For sure.
And when it comes to making your boundaries flexible, I feel like you shouldn't, when it comes to establishing boundaries, there are 3 steps. You create, you state, and then you maintain. And if you make your boundaries flexible, people will see that, so I can push this one. And they will keep on pushing them. And when it comes to pouring out, you'll reach a point where you'll be running on empty.
Yeah, for sure.
And when you kwanza, nice people, I know this, if you're a nice soul, nice person, every time you feel like you should be pouring into other people's cups. And if you don't have boundaries, I'm sure you'll get drained.
For sure.
And when you get drained, you start now establishing boundaries based on, bitterness, resentment.
You could just put the boundaries in the beginning to save you work.
I know, like you end up now setting unhealthy boundaries. The ones that you put up, really, you put up walls around you. Like you don't even allow socialization, you don't allow love.
Yeah, now it's from a point of bitterness.
From a point of bitterness, and and it shouldn't be that way.
And
I feel like at the end of the day, we should all, the goal is to be the best form of yourself. The highest form of yourself. And setting boundaries is one of the, it's like, it's really important. It's like the best form of self-care. Okay, sure. Yeah, it's the best form of self-care. Yeah, I think we've we've done a bit. And we can mention something to do with spiritual boundaries.
Oh, yeah.
Emma, what do you think?
Yeah, for sure.
When it comes to spiritual boundaries, get something you believe in and stick to it, Like when it comes to teaching, when it comes to concepts of spirituality or relation to God, find something. One thing I stand for is that your beliefs should serve you, like whatever you believe in, it should be like something you can actually manifest with it in real life, something really serving you. And
I also feel like pick your belief and stick to it. Don't now start getting swayed because someone said, because someone did. Pick it and stick to it, because now it's you who has a relationship with whatever you believe in or whatever values you have, so stick to them. I also think in relation to spiritual boundaries, there's emotional boundaries. Who as very empathetic people, we have gone through it in the hands of many. We have gone through it in the hands of many. We have suffered, we have cried. And I don't know, I feel like, especially as an emotional or empathetic person, it's very hard to set emotional boundaries if you come from a point of being an empath. Because kila saa you will be feeling aki woye for other people, forgetting maybe they're putting you through bad things. Maybe they're hurting you. You'll always be feeling so bad for even corn stars, for I don't know what. So I don't know. This is one thing that comes back at the back of my mind when I speak about emotional boundaries. You see these people you meet and they're asking for maybe food, for money, right? And I'll feel so much pity. And someone told me, if they're asking for food, get them the food, don't give them the money, because they potentially could be fakes. Or if someone is telling you a problem, or they're doing this and the other thing, don't start feeling bad for them. They could be guilt tripping you, manipulating you, lying to you. Just ask them, it's okay, now you're faced with this and that. So now what are you doing for yourself, so that for yourself to be better even before I come in as myself. And a lot of these empathetic and emotional people listen to your instincts. Kiona tu instincts ikisema huyu ananibeba ufala, make sure you have listened and you put your boundaries. And it's okay to tell someone, no, I'm not in a mental space to talk about this right now. I can't handle this. I know it's hard on you. We'll talk about it later. I truly empathize, but right now I'm not in a mental space to do that. Always protect your energy. Take out time for yourself. Always look out for yourself, because no one is looking out for you in this world.
Literally, no one is. You have yourself. Like, just help to where you can. Don't overdo it.
Don't overstretch.
Don't overdo it, because the minute you do it, and then you come to realize later that this person was actually manipulating you, that's why you start, regretting and stuff. And I think it shouldn't be a bad thing being a nice person. You know? Hey, it's not,
so I actually read somewhere, your good heart is not your problem. It's your weak boundaries that are a problem. And for sure, your good heart is not a problem. It's those boundaries that you don't want to put that are problem.
So nowhere to stop, basically. And
we could touch a little on money
and material boundaries, like who will I assist, how will I,
and who I won't,
especially with empaths. And you're like, this friend asks for money, hajarudisha the first time, the second time anakuja na another bigger problem, and you're like,
and now they are looking at your problems instead of you holding them accountable and telling them, but then you don't return my money, now I also have needs.
I know, you're like, acha basi utarudisha na last time. And that, one thing with people, they'll always they kind of know your weak points, and people know what they are doing. Unaona, hata akikuja the first time,
people know what
they are doing. They ask for the first time, and you're okay with it. The second time, you're okay. This person knows who you see. Once as long as I'm just asking for it, so I feel like in that area, people really need to set, just set some boundary because it's a sensitive.
It's very sensitive.
Very, especially if you know you're the person who's ever willing to help others. You'll share, and at the end,
you'll end up drained. You'll end up alone. There's this story I was reading from a book, Confessions of Nairobi Men. So there's this person when they were rich and very well off. So now their parents want you to help them, the friends, the sisters, the siblings. And then one day he loses his job and everyone else, the parents, the siblings, the sisters, are living life normally. Like now they don't depend on him. And he sees, they now didn't even entirely need me completely to survive. Like they were okay. I'm the one who was overstretching, not putting boundaries, not telling them. And now he's alone with no savings, no investments because he was helping them his entire life.
That's really sad.
Yeah, the last bit. Suspect is a people pleaser. But girl, who's pleased? Who exactly is pleased? Yeah, what do you have to say about people pleasing?
About people pleasing. Where?
We are. But I think at some point, I'm a recovering people pleaser. At some point, yeah.
I'm also one. It's something I really had to,
Yeah.
Ikifika hapa, just stop right there. Don't go beyond that. And it's quite a journey, by the way, because you really try to control yourself from feeling bad. And so it comes with a lot of, things. Ukishaambia mtu no, the person you used to pour out to. It comes with guilt tripping.
For sure.
It comes with name calling, It comes with ultimatums sometimes. So nakwambia, so ni cha hivo. So umeanza kuwa, umejiona nini siku hizi.
Yeah.
And I've come to learn that and to stand on that. You should not feel bad for setting your boundaries. Don't feel bad. And at the end of the day, if you don't set them for yourself, other people will.
For sure. For sure.
Other people will.
For sure.
That's something I learned in quite some years in a camp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that was one thing I had to take away. If you don't set your boundaries, other people will.
They sure will. I also feel like now setting boundaries is not like it shouldn't be like in a huge chaotic way, maybe in a subtle way. Like if someone tells you something and you immediately want to people please, you're like, no, let me think about it, let me get back to you. I think how I started moving from like being a people pleaser was like I wouldn't respond immediately or do things immediately or put myself in situations I'm not sure of. I had to be sure first and ask myself, why am I doing this? What is there? What is in it for me?
Plus giving yourself time before jumping into things. Because I used to be a person when you tell me your problem, I swing into action immediately. You want this? Let me do it. So,
it's not urgent. Don't treat stuff that's not urgent with a sense of urgency.
Like, take your time.
Yeah.
Analyze the situation and know if you can help, in what capacity, to what extent, then you can do it. If you can, that is, then don't really strain yourself on it.
Yeah.
And there's something I'd want to quote. Like I'm a Christian, and I believe all the religious texts, they have something to talk about when it comes to boundaries. And I take an example from the Genesis stories of creation. When God was creating the world, he himself sets boundaries. Like he used to say, let there be, like, this is where the land starts, this is where the water starts. So that was like, let there be the heavens.
This is where light starts, and this is where darkness starts and ends.
Exactly. I feel like that was the first perfect examples of the first perfect example of boundaries. And the Bible still reminds us in other verses. When we go to Proverbs, it tells us that guard your hearts, for all
everything that
flows
comes from
it. So how do you guard your heart if you don't have boundaries around it? And the Bible still continues to tell us in Matthew, let your yes be a yes, and let your no be a no.
Yeah.
Anything else comes from the evil one, you know. Like, yeah, I feel like I had to stay.
Okay,
to that
preach.
Yeah.
So guys, thank you for catching us. See you on the next one. A gentle reminder that we have merchandise that we're selling, like this t-shirt that I'm wearing that's branded. If you need any, just feel free to DM us
getting one.
on Instagram. You should too. Thank you. Bye.
Love ya.